Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. West Ham win 1-0 at home thanks to the hand of God, the hand of Bowen. That was a shithouse victory, as people have said in the Matchday Live. That was an absolute shithouse victory, 1,000,000%. It wasn't the most flamboyant style of game. It wasn't the most exciting game that we saw West Ham play. We're used to that, though. Lots of substitution made. We had 5 new players starting, and West Ham did make 5 subs. Somerville looks like he's walked off with a bit of a niggle, so we'll have to see what happens with that. But Bowen's hand of God, hand of the ball, hand of Bowen has put the ball into the back of the net, which has knocked Bournemouth out of the League Cup and put West Ham into the third round draw. Now, I'm actually just wanting to double check and see when the draw will be made. Let me just give me third round Carabao Cup draw. While we're on, and we'll talk about the game in a second. Stage of the competition, the Northern and Southern Carabao Draw Cups, approximately 10:15 p.m. So we've got another half an hour really before that one does come through. But do you know what? We're through. That's what West Ham fans want. We want to be travelling into the competition, but it wasn't great. It wasn't a great victory. It really wasn't. It wasn't anything. Do you know what? If you're a neutral watching this game, it was actually a really crap game to watch. I didn't enjoy that at all. It was one of the worst ones I've watched in a long time, including last season. Nothing really to shout out about. I think, essentially, I don't think Fabianski flapped a couple of shots, but apart from that, he did a good job. I thought Wan-Bissaka stood out. I thought he looked good. Sifal didn't. Unfortunately, he's unfortunately done. He is done. I thought Kilman done all right. I thought Todibo done well in the first half. And as soon as we made that substitution with Todibo and Mavropanos, they attacked West Ham through the middle, and Mavropanos struggled. He did. People are going to think I'm harsh in saying it, but it's true. They targeted him through that game, and they were getting a lot more success in that second half when the Todibo had gone off for Mavropanos. In the middle of the park, again, as per usual, Souček, James Ward-Prowse, ill-effective, didn't do anything. No showing for the ball, no creativity, no holding on to the play, and it was really disappointing from them too, to be honest. I thought Somerville struggled in the first half, but got into it in the second half a little bit, but he had to come off with a little bit of a niggle. Bowen was quiet again. I think that's also, again, another highlighted reason why Sifal has an impact on what Bowen can do and can't do in a game. I thought Füllkrug, I don't know how he could have got into the game, to be honest with you. I thought Alvarez had a decent one. It's good run out for him to get some match fitness. But it's clear to see we need players like Paquetá and Kudus on the field who can hold on to the play. And we need to remove, in the nicest possible way, Sifal and Souček from this team. They cannot stay in this starting lineup. They can't. Sorry, but they can't. Simply can't. Coming off the bench for West Ham was Paquetá and Kudus, who I thought had made a bit of a difference. Rodriguez, Emerson came on as well, and Mavropanos, like I said, came on for Todibo. But I think essentially, if you look at this whole thing as a whole, I think if it's an experiment, which I know where it's in the cup, it felt a little bit like an experiment. The things we learned was that certain players shouldn't be playing and starting for West Ham. Like, literally have no understanding. And I'm telling you now, if Sifal starts against Manchester City, we're going to fucking struggle. If Mavropanos starts against Manchester City, we are going to struggle. If the two of them start against Manchester City, we are going to struggle. They are our weakness. They are our weakness. Wan-Bissaka has proven tonight to me why he comes in straight in at fullback, at right back for West Ham. Emerson, of course, in at left back. And I would be concerned if we play with Mavropanos. I really, really would, especially against Manchester City. But who am I? Scott Barnard says it's a shithouse victory. We didn't deserve it. It's only handball if it's called. Yeah, you know what I mean. No, you know what I mean. Very poor performance, but wins a win, I guess. Lucky Hammers tonight. Lucky. But do you know what? At the end of the day, I didn't think Bournemouth were anything special either. It was a very... both teams were very sceptical. Both teams were very worried. I think we had a couple of okay chances. They probably had the better chances in the game. Evan Nelson, who came on the park for them, looks decent. He made a bit of a difference for him. Impact straight away, but the impact came down the route of heading for Mavropanos. Don't care if it's a shithouse win. We didn't deserve it. It's a win. And we thought Moyes was boring. Bowen's hand of Danny tonight. Boring. West Ham. Bowen fisted Bournemouth, but he's on fire. God. Not a great side gaffer still. Trying all players. This was more boring than Moyes. It was actually it was really boring. At least our new players got a run around, but Sufal should be treated like Creswell and never play, to be honest. Why did Todibo come off? So in the first half, I thought Todibo had actually a good game, very good structured game. He misplaced one pass, but to be honest with you, it was just a bit too hard for Souček. And then apart from that, he took a shot which parried off the Bournemouth defender, took a wild deflection and nearly put the Bournemouth defender in. And to be honest, it was a professional foul. We knew he was bringing the player down. He had to, and he took a yellow card. So I think that makes a bit of sense because I don't think Lopetegui wanted to lose him. We can't pass, no movement. But remember, that team was not the team that I think we're going to be putting out moving forward. So I'm not necessarily worrying about that yet. I never want to see Sufal start again. He lost 99% of all of his duels. Yeah, I do you know what? I have to agree with you. He can't start. He can't. I can't look at the Manchester City team, the Manchester City game, see West Ham play, and have Vladimir Sufal play against Manchester City. It does not make any sense whatsoever, at all, whatsoever. Let me just have a look here at something. I just want to get some of the stats up for you. If I look at Vladimir Sufal's game, he played 90 minutes. He had 4 clearances, 1 interception, a total of successful of 3 tackles, and he was dribbled past 2 times in this game. He won half of his ground duels, under half of his aerial duels. He lost possession 10 times after touching the ball 54 times in this game. Yeah, I think he really struggled. He really struggled. I mean, some of the websites are scoring him reasonably high, but yeah, he absolutely really struggled in this game. Jarrod Bowen had 36 touches in this game. That's all he had. So I think you can see, and again, when I'm looking at his heat map, he's having to track back a lot more compared to a lot of the other players as well. Football is overpriced now. Yeah, you can say that again. We've got people in the West Ham network chat that have finally given up their season ticket for the first time in their lifetime. And it's not necessarily down to West Ham, it's down to the corporateness of football. Just done with it. Result is what matters. Play will come with flair with it. Biggest surprise, Max is looking strong. Shame Falk didn't get any opportunities onto the next one. Do you know what? Yeah, I agree with you. Result says what matters, especially under a new coach. That's 3 games, 2 wins, 1 loss. The play will come with flair with it. I think the play will come. I do agree with that. And I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka has been phenomenal. I've been really excited about him. As soon as Pat came on, we actually had something. I feel for the fans that hand over all that cash. Here comes YouTube user. A terrible lackluster performance. It's not a bad thing finishing Bournemouth. Should have beaten us in my does Fluck plug. Looking absolute bargain. Did absolute bugger all. Desperately need a striker. I don't deny. I think we do and should look at. I think I'd love West Ham to get Duran. I really would. I think his pace would be frightening. In that forward lines, a hard win, but it's a win and another clean sheet. You're spot on about Vlad, Tommy. You can't blame Fulkrug for a bad performance. He had JWP and Souček in the midfield, and I think that's key. That's key. That's where the struggle is, isn't it? The struggle's real when you've got those two starting in the middle of the park. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was good at left back. That double tackle was wicked. Souček got another 90 minutes. It's clear he's a core player for JLo. Yeah, I'm a bit baffled. I'm really baffled by that. I mean, I'm looking at West Ham scores, and people are scoring West Ham Tommy Souček really high. I do not see it. I'm going to have a look at his stats. 90 minutes, 42 touches, 8% pass completion rate. Successful with 50% of his long balls. Not successful with any crosses of the ball. Had one shot off target, 2 shots blocked. He was successful in a 50% of his ground duels. So he had 8 attempted and he won 4. He won the majority of his aerial duels. He lost possession 8 times from 42 touches. He was fouled 3 times, made 2 tackles, and was dribbled past once. I don't know how that gets a score of 7.1, but hey ho. David says, interesting to watch players playing their way out of the first team and the club. Yeah, I really do agree with that comment. I think it's some of these players are not stepping up, and I don't understand why that is. You are being way too generous. We were awful. Up to get out, moist. No, I'm not being generous. I'm being generous to, I think, two players. I think Kilman and Wan-Bissaka. That's it. I wasn't generous about anything else. There was nothing else to be generous about. YouTube user, sorry, don't care what players we field. They need to show for the ball. That's the biggest thing, and we lacked that all game until Pakatan and Kudus came on. No one came and showed for the ball. West Ham poor performance. Kudus Mohammed has it all from the bench. Give passing options. Kilman was our best man on the pitch again. Our man of the match, in my honest opinion. Makes runs. Why does Sufal replace Creswell? I think Creswell picked up a knock before the game, so Sufal had to come in. And that wasn't in this the anticipation for the team anyway. Somerville had 2 nice chances. Minutes important. I think for Somerville tonight, absolutely. Minutes were important for him tonight, 1,000,000%. Mavro cannot play against Haaland. It seems to me we're going to have trouble scoring goals. It might be harsh, but we need a pacey striker up front. It was boring overall. I'm still not concerned about this. I think if we can snatch anything, or just give a good account of ourselves against Man City, then full focus goes in to the game after. I'm not trying to say I'm just passing aside the Manchester City game. I'm trying to be realistic of who we're playing and the quality that they've got. And look at the players they're selling. Look at the players they're bringing back. You know, they have absolute utter quality. Look at Haaland's record in the Premier League. I mean, he's only played 60-odd games and he's already breaking records left, right and centre. So it's ridiculous, and we cannot go into the Manchester City game with Vladimir Sufal and Konstantinos Mavropanos as our 2 defenders. We cannot do it, and it looks like a Gerd's not going to be there. I thought Tadebo did okay in the first half. I really do, and I think it has to be him. You know what? I was delighted to see Edson Alvarez. Very, very good to have him back. Tommy Soucek, James Ward-Prowse should not start for West Ham, and neither should Vladimir Sufal. Simple as. It's because we played a lot of new players today. It was a perfect game to play them. Next week, we should see our best starting 11. And interestingly, yeah, but it also highlights again why certain players shouldn't play or start anyway. What's absolutely clear is that the crap performances, it was desperately needing a decent striker. Mavropanos was next to Sufal. He covers him a lot and gets dragged out of position. Yeah, possibly, but I'll be honest with you. No, in actual fact, Mavropanos wasn't next to Sufal. He wasn't. He was actually next. Oh no, he was. He was. Sorry, he was. He was next to Sufal, and he does. But I can't blame Sufal for the what's his name? The Bournemouth player that came on, Evan Nelson. When he came on, he just he just targeted Mavropanos. Glenn says you can't play the donkey Soucek. It worries me that Soucek is so much like a Lobby Tiki's plans. When is the draw for the round 3 tonight? It is. I think it's around about 15 minutes time. Let me have a look here. I think it's about 15 minutes time. So AFC Wimbledon are through. They beat Ipswich Town on penalties. Wow. So the AFC's League 2, AFC Wimbledon, who are in League 2, have been knocked out. West Ham and Brentford have gone through. Wolves go through against Colchester. Try to see who else has gone through. My concern is Loppe will favour Soucek and not set up for the opposing team. We want Orient in the next round. Soucek is a good option, but don't play JWP next to him. We learnt this last year. Maybe JLo didn't watch our games. Troy, I think they are good options off the bench. I'll be honest with you, that they're good options off the bench. Can't see how Suchek got good ratings. He was absolutely anonymous. Fulham away after Man City. Will continue to concede goals. I'm sorry, Anton. I'm puzzled with what Lop is doing. Slow and boring. It was tonight. JLP and Suchek together don't work at all last season. Not even going to work. No idea why Lopetegui even tries it. Weird. I thought Todibo came off because he weren't playing very well. No. Actually thought he'd done all right. But I don't think anyone really stood out except for the two players, Max Kilman and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Be interested to see how many times Suchek and Sefao passed between them and how many passes were backwards. They need to wait for Nottingham Forest and Newcastle game to finish before draw starts. Let's have a look and see what the situation is there. Let's have a look. Let's have a little swatch. So penalties for the Nottingham Forest Newcastle game. Wycombe beat Swansea City. Brentford beat Colchester United. They're through. Southampton beat Cardiff 5-3. FC Wimbledon beat Ipswich. Wolves beat Burnley. There's no way Mavropanos was one of our best players, Max. There was no way. I know everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but there was no way. I agree to a certain extent, but he looked comfortable on the ball. What we don't have is desperately need is an energetic 9 box-to-box midfielder who can tackle and pass. Pens at Forest. Why are we still playing this Moyes boy style? I don't know. Mav gave the ball away again for Evan Nelson's first chance, which he should have scored from. Absolutely. And they targeted that area all the time, Troj. He makes one bad pass per game still, 100%. And it's fact, against Crystal Palace, he done 2. I think tonight he done 2, actually, as well. A midfield style of To Me, To You, or a midfield Chuckle Brothers. Kilman was class. Listen, I think coming into the end of the transfer window, it's key that we see a couple of players move on, minimum, and we bring a couple of players in. It looks like Carlos Soler is the one they want to bring in. He could be the one piece of the jigsaw in the middle of the part that might help. I'm really hoping that this comment isn't true, Timothy, that he's going to be his main man. I despair. I am baffled because I just don't know what he's done. I don't know what he's done at all. The transition is so slow. Todibo and Kilman will be a stonewallers in a few games. I completely agree with that. I think what I saw from Todibo tonight excites me. Now, if he does start or doesn't start against Manchester City, he will start against Fulham. But to be honest with you, I think it might be Todibo and Kilman for Man City. Moyes midfield gives us a Moyes display. It's a valid point. It's a really valid point because it was literally a Moyes midfield. Personally, think Todibo looked good first half, bit of pace, classy, and can tackle. He did. Listen, I've got to say it as it is. He gave the ball away in a dangerous area. You could sit there and try and blame a little bit of Suchek's positioning, but he did. Who scored the? Let me have a look here. Who played? Let me just have a look at something. Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to check something here. But I thought he did look classy. We need another striker. Is Soler energetic and have legs? Because honestly, we don't have another so-called short passer. No, he's he is energetic, but he's quite small. That midfield pairing hasn't worked in 12 months. It bogs my mind why they're still seeing it. You can say that again, Peter. Sorry, Adrian. Squad isn't as strong as some think. I think it is strong. I think we have to be mindful of the fact that we've won a game. We're into a whole new routine. That we have to be. We cannot just give up hope. I would start to give up hope in 3 games' time if we're still seeing Suchek in the team. Let's have a look here. We're just waiting for this game, Nottingham Forest Newcastle finishing, and the draw will take place. When will West Ham ever stop playing hoofball? Todibo look fast. He must make mistakes and not settled yet. I thought he had a poor game. Todibo, I don't agree. Midfield was awful, so slow, no impact at the game at all. From Baza, how was Somerville today, Anton? I think he really struggled to get into the game. It wasn't necessarily his fault. but he really struggled to get into the game. And I think Fulcrook struggled to get into the game, but it just was big gaps in the midfield that never allowed them really the opportunity. He had glimpses, and I can see the potential. There you go, see the potential. And to be honest with you, he should have put the ball in the back of the net when he went 1-on-1 with the keeper. But he hit it into Rosette. He hit a Benrama, is what I'm going to call it. Oh, they should be playing on the right. If Tabibo picked up another yellow tonight, it would have been a red and it would have not been available for Man City. Absolutely got booked too. Good evening, Anton from Gatesy. Hope you're well. Fortunate we were, but sometimes we need luck and it's all about getting in the hat for the next round. Ramsdale is a good signing for them. Let me just check something whilst you're all there. Just bear with me, everybody. Just want to check something. If Cougar is gone, Suchek is a different player. If Cougar is gone, Suchek is a different player. Should have kept Fornals if we want possession. The new players do need time to gel. I completely agree with you. They absolutely do need time to gel. I think we should go back three for City: Kilman, Alvarez, and Tadibo. Stick Paqueta, Suchek, and Kudus. Midfield, Bowen and Fulcrook up front. Surreal. I honestly can't see Suchek playing. He probably will play, but I just don't know why. I don't know why. His output is just not offering us anything at all. Probably going to be a midfield with Alvarez, Guido, and Suchek. Suchek, GWP, and Sufal and Antonio out the door for me. Needed a player like Fofana. Heard we were interested in Rios. Anything in that? We'll have to see that, mate. Have to see. Guido, Alvarez, and Paqueta is our number one midfield. Right, let's have a look here. Hold on a second. Sorry, just bear with me. Talk amongst yourself is what happens when you go live. I think Suchek and Sufal are playing because of the Czech owner, mate. I would really hope that wouldn't be true. I can't see that being true. 2 seconds, everyone. Who else? I'm just trying to have a look and see who else got through. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look here. What time is it? 10. Tadibo looked good, and at least he has pace, composure on the ball, and his passing is good. I can agree with you on that 100%. Definitely can. Let's have a look here. Sorry, bear with me for a second. Boring game. Sefal chain Bowen. Just trying to see if there's any changes here. That's taken so long. Let's have a look and see if the Newcastle one is done. Pens. Full commentary. So it looks like it's going to the wire with Newcastle. Sufal is a liability. He has to go. Mate, I couldn't agree any more than you. It is not great at all. Not great at all. Let's have a look here as well. Guido and Paqueta. helped with our passing, though. They did. Everyone was too positive before the start because everyone had forgotten how bad JWP and Souček were together, like coffee and chocolates. Back 7 for Man City. Part of the bus. Where was the youth tonight? Surely the time's to give Casey Orford and Scale some minutes. It's not happening this season, mate. It's not happening. If Sufal goes, we'd have to replace him. He should not start anymore. Also, I think we'd have to start with the situation because now you've got Creswell injured, which is a concern. It's an absolute concern. So we need to have a look and see what the situation is there with that. Let's have a look and see. God, everyone's taking so bloody long. Let's see if I can get this up here. Sorry, bear with me, everyone. I was seeing the penalties now. Sorry, I didn't realise I could see the penalties. So currently, I think, let's have a look here. So Nottingham Forest are currently beating Newcastle 3-2. And Anthony Gordon is stepping up for Newcastle. Let's have a look. Anthony Gordon. Smash it into the back of the net. Now, yeah, no, it's fine. Sudden death now, even though it's the last 5-5. So check the 3-yard passer. Fofana knocked us back. AWB was man of the match for sure. I hate to say it, but we are missing that Declan Rice type player to drive us forward. We're lacking a drive in the middle of the park. Both Alvarez and Rodriguez are good, but not driving forward. Think a few of the team will pick up injuries early doors. Silva scored for Forest tonight. Yeah, he did. I forgot about that. I forgot they signed him. They signed him on loan, didn't they? No, sorry, not on loan. They signed him on permanent. I had hope for top 7, but now looking like top 10, apart from Ambasaka. The first 2 starting lineups are justified. Coming my man of match again. Do I think Sola will sign? I'll be surprised if he doesn't. He's done a lot of work. Right, here comes Forest with Awonyi. Awonyi stepping up for the 5th penalty. Oh, he's hit it well over the bar. He has hit it well over the bar. So if Newcastle scored, they are through. Wan-Bissaka man of the match. Hey, Garino, good to see you. Peter Chelmsford, highlights that we're sure. Good question. Good answer. With Creswell injury, surely we need to get another left back. Don't want to see Aaron Wan-Bissaka wasted playing there. And that's the concern. You play him there and then suddenly, nah, it's not for me. Tadibo had a lovely body swerve his rampage up the pitch. JWP needs to go. Newcastle might be going to the cup. No, if they score this, they're not. Whereas Emerson, he came off the bench. And Newcastle win and go through to the 3rd round. Longstaff has scored. Right, listen, we are actually going to go live on the channel for the draw, the live draw. And I've kind of had enough of talking about the game, to be honest. So I want to see who West Ham gets in the next round. So if you are joining me and you're here, you will get transferred across to the West Ham network. Now, if you're on X, you have to come over to the YouTube to watch us for the 3rd round draw live. So come across there. What's the date? Oh my God. Let me just edit that. It should be today. So we're just waiting now. Going to go live there. And I'm waiting here for the draw. So we've gone live over on the YouTube channel. So we'll do the live 3rd round draw. So come and join me across there. That's the review. I don't want to talk about the game anymore because it was one of those games that was crap, wasn't it? So come and join me on the 3rd round draw for the Carabao Cup. And I'll see you very soon.